Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, thank you very much for the invitation to address you by means of this video recording in terms of the Working Group on Environment of the UPU. As many of you already know, our collaboration amongst the UN agencies, but particularly also between UNEP and UPU, has been an extremely productive one in recent years. It took its lead from the Secretary General's decision in 2007 to declare the United Nations as an institution that is on a pathway towards climate neutrality. And particularly in terms of focusing on our own carbon footprint, many initiatives have been taken since then, particularly through the Chief Executive Board of the United Nations. My dear colleague Edouard Dayan was one of the pioneers in this group and took that call by the Secretary General extremely seriously, not only in terms of the UPU's own management of its facilities and its programs, but also in terms of trying to reach out to this extraordinary family of postal services across the world. With hundreds of thousands of employees, tens of thousands of vehicles that transport post and mail every day, and also tens of thousands of locations across the world, you have the potential to be a major contributor to making the transition towards a low-carbon green economy become a quicker reality. The values and the trust that the public places in you as an institution that provides not only a service, but is often an example also at the local level of how innovation, be it technology or management, can be transported into our economy, makes you a particularly valuable partner with a global reach to be part of creating not only awareness about the responsibility we have, for instance, to measure first of all our carbon emissions, but then on the basis of those measurements also to look for opportunities to managing them down, to reduce them. Already in many of your postal services you have been pioneers, you have set examples of innovation and also have shown that very often the action that is associated with a low carbon economy through the postal services is not a factor that will increase costs, but in fact can contribute to the efficiency of the operations. Our collaboration between UNEP and the UPU is one that I particularly treasure because it is an example of how we as international institutions can bring the best of our expertise and then reach into the different constituencies across our global community of nations. I hope that in the Working Group on Environment you will continue to set the pace, raise the threshold of ambition and also provide encouragement to the many postal services across the world to be part of a growing set of institutions and networks and actors in our economy to demonstrate that a low-carbon economy and a transition towards a green economy with all its benefits, but also with its challenges of transition, is not something that we shy away from, but rather that we see ourselves as providing leadership. And your network, which reaches so deep and wide into local communities, is also a way in which we can anchor these innovations at the level where people can not only learn and observe, but hopefully begin to emulate, be it in the private sector or be it in other parts of the public sector institutions that we operate with. So once again, thank you very much for the excellent collaboration that we've enjoyed over the last few years, and particularly to my colleague Edouard Dayan, who will be handing over his tenure to his successor in a few months' time. I want to thank him for the leadership that he has provided with his team in the UPU, and we in UNEP remain committed to working with you in the years to come. Thank you.